Well, we're going to start off this 5A segment. It's eventually going to be a pay-on to the Sharyland Rattlers because they're wonderful. But I want to start with the teams that dropped out. You know, Veterans lost to Flower Bluff. That was tough as we thought it was going to be. Man, Roma, they took GP to the wire, and they could have, should have won that game. They outgained them 309 to 250. They led in the final 21 seconds. Some clown from GP comes and scores a touchdown. I could just shoot myself for that.
Yeah.
I wanted Roma to win.
You know what, though? I don't think a lot of people had them even remotely close, including us. I mean, I don't think we thought it was going to be that close.
Oh, I wish they'd have done it. Roma to the third round. I think you and I would have taken it right.
Oh, yeah.
Man. We may anyway, man. That was great. They had a great season, and it fell a little bit short. GP maybe a little more athletic, but you know what? They didn't gain much. They're Roma defense, man. Let me tell you. They were up 17-7.
Yeah, and look, this is a year after Orly Solis.
I know,
you know, I mean,
they
got better. I mean, as a team, they got better, and this is something I don't think we had them in the playoffs. At the beginning of the year.
I had them as a fringe candidate.
Yeah, five-ish.
Didn't have man. I promise you. I had who else? Who did I have in there? I don't remember. Oh, Rio.
Yeah.
Rio Grande. Well, their pal from Starr County went. You know, that defense was solid. Robert Garza came on. He passed for 127, ran for a touchdown. They did their thing, man. They just couldn't finish. And, boy, that GP kid must be happy he scored in the last 21 seconds. His name was White.
Yeah.
I like to give him a wide eye. Pop, you know? It's all right. It's good for him.
Yeah. But you know what? It was a close game.
Hell of an effort.
And Roma should be ecstatic on the way they played.
Ecstatic, man. Now it's time to hoop. And they're going to be good at that, too. Now, the other game that I saw this weekend, if I told you that Rivetta Mac High reminded me of Harlingen and Sharyland, Vale of Victoria West, hold on, reminded me of Edinburgh North and Weslaco in 07, because that was when Meshach went whoop, woo, whoop, woo, whoop, woo, 62-49. They couldn't stop him, and they had a ton of yards of offense, Randy Ramirez and those guys, but they couldn't do it. Up in Texas A&M Kingsville, which I still call A&I, Vela had a tremendous effort. Anytime you have more than 600 yards and score 45 points, you have to be crazy not to win. You think that the team, how can you not win that game? Well, the one guy that we said was an amazing player had 352 on his own and 7 touchdowns. Jamarcus Gurdy as a junior. I mean, I was just watching him warm up, and I'm like, oh no. Oh, no. Vela led at the half, man. 24-21. Michael Arguelles, the coaches at A&I were salivating in the end zone. Gurdy and Arguelles. Because Michael had a tremendous game. 8 catches, 203. He caught this one right at the half with 3 seconds left in the half. Eber Lopez threw a laser beam that Michael was like, got right at the goal line. I mean, it was an incredible catch. He caught another bomb. No, he had a tremendous game. Eber only had, 350 yards passing. Vela had 621 and West had 619. It was a track meet all the way. An outstanding day. It really was. The sun came out, and I got a little bit sunburned, man. The fans were loud and crazy. It was one of those things where I just kept looking around at people, and I have a bunch of pictures from it. It was one of those games that everybody's always going to remember. All the kids, the parents were going, but you should have seen some of the parents, man. They were tripping out. Of course, I, on the other hand, was cool, calm, and collected.
I imagine, yeah.
Indeed, you know.
No,
acting stupid, man.
As far as the defense, what did you see as far as defense in that game? Because,
they tried to get to that kid, but the problem is, he was so good. And the running back I said wasn't going to play had 100. I know, I'm stupid. They have some other kids with some moves, man. They're just an athletic team. Their defense was pretty quick. That was the hardest hitting team that I think they played all year.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. They didn't stop Vela, but they popped him, man. Eber Lopez got hit. That must be the sorest guy in the county on Saturday, Sunday, because he just took some shots, man, but he kept getting up.
If it would have been the other way around, would Sharyland have beat them? Could Sharyland? Because it was a close game between Vela and Sharyland.
I don't know. Yeah, the way their defense has been playing, maybe they could have stopped him a little more, because John Trevino had 15 tackles, just a wonderful junior linebacker, big old horse. Joe Gonzalez, the end, had 11. Kid Ruben Garcia blocked 2 field goals. I don't know, man. Maybe. I'll tell you this. When you play a team like that in a game like that, when it's a tennis match, when you blink once, if you have a hiccup, you might be gone. All right, so Vela has a chance inside the 20 twice. They don't make it. They got an onside kick later in the game. They were offsides, right? They had Arguelles, of all people, runs a kickoff back 95 yards for a touchdown. He looked like a man. He played like a man on Saturday. That dude, it was cold, man. If he keeps that up, he's the player of the year next year. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. 8 for 203 and a 95-yard kickoff return. But they called it back.
Wow.
A hold, right? So those are the mistakes that cost them the game, because every time they would do something good or bad,
there was something there.
Gurdy. I mean, he's a stop, and you would go by and boop, and he'd go. And that kid is strong too, man. They put some licks on him. He didn't bother him a bit. You should have seen him. He's got some pipes, man.
Wow.
Oh, he's gonna be. If he doesn't go to A&I or somewhere good, then I'm crazy, because that guy's a superior football player. He was the best player on the field. It was fun to watch him, but I was hating his guts because he was beating our team.
Yeah. Well, Vella's got, they had a good sub-varsity team. They should be good next year, right?
They got a lot of kids back. They got about half their starters. This is the first year in the program's 3-year history they're going to be hurt by graduation a little bit, namely Ever Lopez. They lose a couple of great offensive linemen. They lose a couple of really good secondary guys and some guys up front. But no, they got tons of talent. You should have seen Elijah Reyna, home run man. 2 touchdown catches, ran twice for 40 yards. He hurt his shoulder, and I look like they're going to have to carry him off. And he gets back in the game and scores a touchdown. Man,
wow.
Dives into the end zone. That's a bad little dude, man. No, Vela played great. That kid was just... He was sublime, man.
Mm-hmm.
No other way to say it. Boy, I'll tell you what, I was so tired after that game, I was sitting in my truck going, damn. Oh, well.
Well,
but that brings us to the good news.
yeah. We got one team that made it through, and they did it in a convincing, very surprising,
style.
yeah.
How about 27-0, suckers? I told you, man, Sharyland whooped Cal Allen. 57 points in my district and none in the area. Boy, that Sharyland defense. And here's the thing I want to say first off. I didn't think that they were going to be that good this year because of the split. And I don't think a lot of people thought, well, they're in the 3rd round again. They've lost 1 game. Did you realize that Sharyland played his first 8 games of the year against teams that made the playoffs?
Wow.
Yeah, they had a harder schedule than you'd think. Because they played some teams early on that all of them, I looked at their list today. They played a great schedule in contact.
Yeah.
Here's why I think they're still good. One, Ron Adame is, that guy is a magic coach, man. He just does it. I don't care who he has or what, he does it. But the other thing is, they've got 5 or 6 great players still. They don't have the 15 or 20 they had 2, 3, 4 years ago, but they've still got some excellent football players, man.
Oh, congratulations to Cole. He's going to North Texas. So
nice.
congratulations to him.
Look up Mean Joe Green when you get there. One of the best college football players ever, and he wasn't a bad pro. Anyway, yeah.
But Sharyland's 11-1 now. They've lost 1 game.
By one to Alexander, and that was a good team.
Yeah, in the last, 3 years. So, what do you think their chances are this week?
Cedar Park. Let me tell you a little bit about Cedar Park.
I remember them from a few years ago.
Indeed. They beat East twice in the 3rd round. They won a state title the next year, 12. They beat East in 10 and 11. This year, they've lost 3 times. Okay? They lost to Vandergrift. They lost to Dripping Springs. The first loss was to Aledo. You can just, you ain't going to beat Aledo. I don't care what you do. So they're not as good as they have been, but they're still very good. I still think they're easily as good as Sharyland. They might be better. The thing is, the teams remind me of each other. Have you seen Cedar Park lately?
No, I haven't.
The quarterback gets there and he slings the ball out here. And he slings the ball out here, and they run quick this, and they run tricky this, and they don't try to pound it on you. But
they're not like they used to be.
No.
They used to be ground and pound.
No, they're a little bit more aerial now, man. And in fact, they run an option look, and they throw off it.
Really?
God Almighty, I've been waiting for someone to do that for years. They have an option look, a fake option pass, and I'm not talking about just a little flip. Now the kid's got a sidearm slinger.
Wow.
No, they got good athletes. Look, they're fast, and they hit you. They're not overly big. They're a decent offensive line. They're a good football team. They're not as good as they have been in the past. I mean, that 4-year stretch where all they kept getting beat by was Lake Travis in their own damn district, So no, they're a great team. This is not their best team. Sharyland, I don't say they catch a break, but I'd rather them play them now than 2 or 3 years ago. Although the team Sharyland had 2 or 3 years ago,
you never know.
Yeah, we'll do that in a video game.
Now we talk about to talk about Madden. Madden had 100 yards rushing, or 102, right? 102 on 2 rushes?
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, yeah.
Or 2 touchdowns, yeah. And then he had about 198, so...
You know what? Look, man. That guy is so consistent that you forget about him sometimes. He's going to do that every game. The team lives and dies on him, okay? He is the player right there. He will run the ball well when he has his chance. He will throw. He'll be 50%, 55% at least. He'll hit for touchdowns. Seth Carter's been a big play man lately. That kid had a 30-yard touchdown in this game against Cal Allen. Of course, Cole is good. They don't quite have the depth of the playmakers they used to. I think Manny had the Campos. He had a pretty good ball game, 8 catches, 114. So, they've got some guys. And on defense, that's where they're playing the best. They shut out Cal Allen, man.
And you know what? They're playing without a tremendous amount of big name players like they have in the past. I mean, you have Lundez.
They got 3.
Yeah.
By my money, the guys that I know, and I'll tell you, I have to admit, this is the first time in many, many years I've not caught them yet in the season. I'm going to have to remedy that. Tornado is a great linebacker. You remember him last year. Beto Ruiz has come on. So, I'm interested to see some of those other guys. But like I said, those 3 and those guys we mentioned on offense, even with the split, they've got enough talent to go 3 deep. I think Cedar Park's going to be a hard nut to crack, man. I really do. But I feel like of all the Valley teams, they have the best chance.
And after that, who would they play? If they were to beat Cedar Park, who would they play?
They would play teams they can whoop. They would play GP, who barely beat Roma. And they play Kerrville-Tivy, who has 3 losses, and they're not really that great either. They don't have Manziel, but let me tell you, they score a lot.
Yeah.
It would be a 55-45 game because Tivy would.
So it'd be a much like your Vela game.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. No, got too smart for my own good. Let me tell you something about Sharyland that I find interesting. They have now made the 3rd round of the playoffs in almost every division you can name. 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, man. 3A, 4A, 5A. And as a Class B in 58, 59. In other words, wherever they go, they seem to win.
And they'll probably be back up to 6A in a few years anyway.
So
yeah.
You think so? A lot of growth out there?
Yeah. But here's the thing about that team. You've seen them so many years. How does this team? How do you see the evolution of that team? I mean, from where they were to now.
I'm not going to say that I think this is the best Sharyland team ever. Okay, I'm really not. But considering the ramifications of the split, I think they're on the verge of accomplishing just as much as any of those other teams, man. And that just goes to show you, man, sometimes you get a draw or you get a group of teams in which you can do good things. So, no, I feel like it's a very good Sharyland team, not as much depth as they had in the past, but they're on the verge of creating history, man. We've only had 14 teams win in the 3rd round, How many can you name? Let's have some fun. I gave you a list. You get that list?
Yes.
Pretty slick thing. Let's go to that list because we don't have time out this week or overtime, but we got some history to talk about.
Okay. Well, you already know Donna because Donna won a title.
Everybody knows Donna 61, but they don't know Donna 1951. That was a team that won 3 games, and they lost to Waco La Vega 38-7. Nobody knows about that team, and Donna did it more than once.
All right. Now, we all know about Bobby Lackey.
55.
Okay.
They were up at the half against Hillsboro. And they lost 20-7. Man, that was a heartbreaker. They had the better team, I think.
Okay.
55.
We know about 61 Donna, but we also know that PSJ made the finals
2 years in a row. Yeah, we've talked often about that team, and it was something else, man. They lost to Dumas and Corsicana. They were outmanned like crazy, but team gets to the state finals. You had to win 3 games to get to the state finals back then. That was the amount of team.
Yeah. Now, we all know Port Isabel had some success.
Yeah, I guess.
Just a little bit.
81, 90, 94, and 03. They're the only team to win 4 games twice, right? Let's see. Let's go down this list.
I doubt there's any coaches from the 1989 Harlingen team, right?
Yeah, old Jesse Longhofer, man. And I'll tell you who was a linebacker on that team was old Manny Gomez.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he took his team in 2011 and won a 3rd round game. So we're talking about this 14 teams that have won 3 playoff games. So 51 Donna, 55 Weslaco Donna, PSJ 62 and 63. This 81 PI team was one of the best teams ever, man. That was, I believe that was Tommy Roberts who was the coach at that point. They went 47-4 over about a 4-year span, and they played Cameron Yo in the state semifinals and lost 25-14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Harlingen made it in '89.
They beat LBJ in the rain, 14-0. That was still an amazing thing, and they played Judson on TV. The whole valley was watching that game. It was fun. It was cool, man. Yeah.
1990 Mission.
Well, if you're looking at who's been the most smashing success in the 3rd round, well, how bad they beat San Antonio?
59-17.
59-17. Detmer was just picking them apart, man. He made rags out of that team. I swear to God, it was amazing. Absolutely, man. That's the 3rd round. Okay, think about playing Madison like we have in the 3rd round. Sharyland's done a couple times. Harlan's in the 4th. And beat them that bad? That's how good that team was. They had a pretty good secondary, too. They had a great team.
And then 1990 PI also.
Yeah, the 3 Amigos. That team they would run the ball and run the ball and run the ball, and they just your tongue would be hanging out. You couldn't control that team. They came at you from all angles, man. Let's see how far did they get. That's right. That's when Sinton beat them.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted them to beat Sinton this year because that was a pretty bad deal. That was Coach Tony's, man.
Yeah.
That was Villarreal's early days at PI.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was a great team.
So the '94 PI team. Talk to me about
Pretty
them.
darn good. Let's see. 94. Oh, that's when they tied Cuero. You know who's on that Cuero team? Finley.
Really?
Yeah, Mickey Finley was a coach and Clint was a player. What do you think of
Wow.
them apples? Yeah, that's cool. They beat Bandera, then they finally lost to Sealy, and they could have played them 100 times. They weren't going to beat Sealy.
Okay.
They didn't have Eric Dickerson, but there's no way. You know, you always reach a point in time when you know it's no way. But
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, 4 wins, gee whiz.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Ed Chelsea.
Oh my God, that was Chris Cavazos, and they had a couple of great
1997.
running backs. Yeah, and they beat my alma mater, Austin Lanier, 41-0 in the 3rd round. That didn't bother me because I was rooting for the Jackets. I admit it. They're both black and gold.
Really?
Yeah, indeed. The Vikings of Lanier.
And they wound up losing to Cal Allen.
Yeah, 28-7 is one of the many times they played them. That was a very good Cal Allen. That was Cal Allen when Cal Allen was Cal Allen. Right
Yeah.
now they Cal Allen minus.
Yeah.
And they got whooped and had to do that.
In '99,
Sharyland.
EHS. Edinburgh.
The magical mystery tour, man. Everybody said, well, they played all these teams and where they doesn't matter, man. They came back from the dead a couple of times. Beat Taft 35-32. Then they ran into that immovable object in Eisenhower. Remember that? 54-7. I'll never forget. Coach Vela said, we threw a ball the first play, a kid broke loose, and he got caught from behind so easy we all went, You know?
Yeah. You kind of knew, yeah, you knew what was up.
No way.
Yeah. And then PI in 2003.
The missile. Irazeta. They had some great players on that team, man. That's when they played the greatest game in the history of the world against Altair Rice, or Rice Consolidated, as we
Yeah.
said. I still, and Mike Gonzalez, by the way, is out of the business.
Yeah.
A longtime buddy of mine and ours, that was his favorite game.
Really?
I think it was Paul Conatra's favorite game, too. Another one of my pals. Yeah, I mean,
Paul's in, what, London now,
he
or
is in
England?
London, yeah. Driving a horse-driven taxi. No, it's a strong horse. No.
Yeah. Wait,
That's one of the greatest games ever, though. If you're going to love a game, 64-61, pretty cool.
yeah. And
Marlin beat him, I think, 41-10. That was
Yeah.
a great team.
and then 2011, something very recent.
Man, that was fun. You remember that Warren game? You remember that?
Something
we were there
else.
early and we were just tripping, man.
You see, all the fans look pretty. Looks like they could have run in the 40, trying to get to the stands and get a good seat.
Greatest man. Hey, the Valley fans are notorious for getting there early, and they'll bot something up, and who cares? We'll do it this way. It's so great, though, man. It's so perfect, They filled that place, and we hollered those cats down, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
And it looked very. It looked. I mean, just the ambiance, the whole thing. You were just like, wow.
Remember the 4 pick sixes?
Yes.
Even Maya got one. That was a crazy game. If they'd only had a pick six, the next game.
Yeah.
41-27.
That's
I'll never forget
stupid shiny donkey. What do they bring out?
I know, yeah. It's
Whatever
horrible.
that thing is.
But that was so those are the teams that have won. We're talking about the 3rd round games that they won. There ain't that many guys, and so I think we're 14 wins and about 95 losses now. I have the number somewhere. I don't like to look at it because it pisses me off. But here's the deal. Who cares, man? We have a chance. We have a chance to make history every time we go out in the field, and so let's go for broke. I'm not saying we're going to come back with nothing. I sure hope not. But if we do, then hey, that's life, man. That's la vida, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Hey, best of luck too. I want to say this to Sharyland because I know some of the at least one defensive coach, Coach Walker. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
I don't know if we make him very happy on some of the things we say, but but
Why
best
not?
of luck.
I'm all over Sharyland like a pair of pants. I like that.
Best
team, man.
best of luck this week, and we'll be pulling for you guys, the other 3 teams also.
So that's at Heroes.
Yes.
Friday night. I don't know where that is. I've never been.
No, ever been to Heroes?
No.
Beautiful.
Is it cool?
Yeah.
Where's it at? Do you know how to get there?
Yeah.
You're going to have to tell me.
Well, we're gonna go. All right, so I'll
Yeah,
drive.
we
I'll
should.
drive. But also, I want to give a shout out to our buddy Mike Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah,
who
man.
did leave the business. Best of
Not
luck.
forcibly.
Yeah. Best of luck in your new career.
Look, Mike's a great guy. He does a wonderful job in whatever he does. I saw that guy grow from a kid at Pan American working for me at the paper.
Looking like
Again,
Steve Kerr.
Indeed, he looked a lot like Steve Kerr. Still does. So yeah, he became a great professional. Look, nobody enjoyed the ball games more than him. That's one thing you could always count on from Mike is that he loved what he was doing and he put it all in there. Seeing him, Mike, Mondo, Eladio, all those guys, you and me, that's what makes it all fun, man. It was cool. And they always laugh at me because if there's a team in the Valley playing against a team from out of the area, they know I'm going to be hollering and bitching at the refs and acting like a fool. I have to admit it. I was running up and down the field. I was so tired after that Baylor game, I thought I was going to fall out. It was fun. It really was.
Yeah.
I'm proud of those kids. They did a good job. And let me close by saying that, there are a lot of great coaches in the Valley, and I respect them all. I was really impressed with the way Michael Salinas handled his kids after the game because there was all kinds of funny business, and he pulled those kids aside and he fussed at them and he hugged on them. He did all the right things, and I was really impressed with that because, you're supposed to be still an educator. And so I wanted to pass that along, and that don't mean I like him more than the rest. I'm not a total homer here from Edinburgh, but I just enjoyed that, and it made it all worthwhile. I forgot about the score for a minute, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what high school football is all about right there. So, anything else?
No, that's it. There's going to be
I got my crying towel, my violin.
Yeah. Hey, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
And I hope we don't have 4 turkeys, but you know what? I think we're going to have some surprises. I really feel like we will. And we'll see you next week. Keep in mind that we want to hear from all you guys about who you think the best players are. We're making our All-Valley teams, and it's going to be fun, man. So we're not totally done here. We may come back with a win, and then we have the awards to pass out.
Yeah, and go on the forums. Let us know what you think. Tell us where we're right, because there's probably be a lot of places and where we're wrong, very small.
And if you're wrong, or if I'm wrong, then blame it on him. Selber, Barry, cool, man. All right. Is it good?